Hello everybody, my name is Liam Doran from accountancyschool.ie and I'm the lecturer on the Advanced Financial Management exam paper for the SCCA syllabus. Now, the AFM exam paper is the new name for the previously known P4 exam paper, and I just want to run through briefly what's on the syllabus, the format of the exam paper, any changes that we have between the old paper 4 and the new Advanced Financial Management paper. And I suppose if you're considering looking at the Advanced Financial Management paper as your option paper, what you need to be aware of in order to allow you to be able to make a decision as to whether or not it might be the paper for you. First and foremost, when we're dealing with the Advanced Financial Management paper, it follows on from the old F9 paper or the Financial Management paper at the fundamentals level. And on the F9 paper, you would have come across things like investment appraisal, working capital management, valuation of companies, sources of finance, weighted average cost of capital, capital structure decisions, and different topics like that. They're quite technical topics, there's a lot of calculations involved with them, and the Advanced Financial Management paper follows on from these. Now, I suppose at the outset I need to point out, you need to have a good knowledge of the previous F9 material or the financial management material in order for you to be able to score well on the Advanced Financial Management paper. The Advanced Financial Management paper follows directly on from the Financial Management paper, and there is an assumed level of knowledge by the examiner. Now, from the point of view of a course, I go through the financial management material again. I take the approach that the students in the class or the students online have not seen financial management in the recent past, and anything that they did see they've probably forgotten. So I do go through all of the basic principles and the calculations that you need to be able to deal with. But you can appreciate that because we have additional material that we need to look at as well, I have to go through the financial management material a small bit quicker than you would have seen it when you were doing it as a subject itself. Now, I've said that you need to be comfortable with financial management in order for you to be able to score well on the Advanced Financial Management. And the next slide here just looks at some of the additional topics that come up on the Advanced Financial Management syllabus. There are additional areas that you need to be able to deal with on investment appraisal. So, for example, when you were doing financial management, whether you did it as the F9 subject or whether you got exempted as a result of having done financial management in college, you would have come across net present value and internal rate of return. At the Advanced Financial Management level, we need to be able to deal with those, but we also need to be able to deal with things like adjusted present value, modified internal rate of return, project duration. These are simply additional techniques that you can utilise in order to decide whether a project is worth investing in or not, and they build on the knowledge that you would have had from financial management. The other area that comes onto the syllabus for the Advanced Financial Management subject is options pricing. You need to be able to utilise the Black-Scholes option pricing model in order to value various options. And then you need to be comfortable with knowing where can you use option pricing techniques in order to assist you in being able to give some advice to somebody from a financial management perspective. The other big thing that comes up on Advanced Financial Management is it goes into a lot more detail when you're dealing with interest rate risk and foreign currency risk. So you need to be fully comfortable with the basics of foreign currency. For example, how do you predict exchange rates? What are the main risks that a company faces when they enter into a foreign currency transaction? How do you deal with a forward contract, a money market hedge? But then you also need to be comfortable with futures contracts and options contracts and swap contracts and the likes. So derivatives become a lot more important on the Advanced Financial Management subject. The same with interest rate risk. You need to be able to deal with your forward rate agreements, and you need to be able to deal with, your fixed interest rates if you wanted to lock into a fixed interest loan. But then you need to be comfortable with futures contracts and options contracts and collar contracts and swap contracts. All areas that we look at on the course, all areas that involve a lot of calculations, and they build on the basic knowledge that you would have developed when you were looking at the fundamentals paper. When you move into the differences, I suppose, at the option level, a lot of students get caught out moving from having scored well at a fundamentals paper and then perhaps find it a bit difficult to see what is it that they need to do at the options level in order to differentiate from the fundamentals knowledge that they've gained. And the big thing here is your ability to be able to advise. What you need to be able to do at the options level for each of the options papers is you need to be able to utilise the knowledge that you have, decide what particular approach would be appropriate in order for you to be able to advise an end user. And that's no different at the Advanced Financial Management subject. So for example, when you would have covered F9, they would have asked you specifically in the question for you to calculate an NPV, or they would have asked you what the impact on an earnings per share is going to be if we were to take a particular course of action. But when you're looking at Advanced Financial Management, a lot of the time they won't tell you what technique to use. They'll ask you to advise a company. They'll ask you to explain to a company. And what they're expecting you to be able to do is to pull together the information that you have in a question, and they'll expect you then to be able to utilise the techniques that you have in a manner that will allow you to come up with figures that you can then discuss in your solution. So a lot of the options papers is testing your ability to be able to utilise the knowledge that you have against the information that's given in the exam so that you can give meaningful advice. Okay, the exam itself, it's a 3 or 15-minute exam. The paper is split into 2 sections. You've got section A and section B. Section A is a 50-marker question. It's a case study. It's going to examine a range of topics from the syllabus. They'll split the requirements on question 1 into about 6 to 8 individual requirements, and it'll be broken down approximately 60-40% with regards to 60% for calculations and 40% for discussion. Section B of the exam has 2 questions. They're each worth 25 marks. There's no choice. The difference in the section B questions is that they'll tend to hone in on one specific topic area from the syllabus. So it might be an investment appraisal question, or it might be a reconstruction question, or it might be a foreign currency risk management question. But again, what they'll do is they'll usually break it into about 60% for the calculations and 40% for the discussion. Going forward, there won't be any purely theoretical question. Every question will involve your ability to be able to utilise calculations against the information that's given so that you can provide advice or you can give a recommendation. We are told, however, that from September 2018 there are 2 topics that you're guaranteed will appear on every exam paper. One of them is coming from advanced investment appraisal and the other one is coming from treasury risk management areas. So you're guaranteed that things like APV, MIRR, real options to value, the valuation of real options in an investment appraisal, foreign currency risk management and interest rate risk management, those type of topics are guaranteed to appear on every exam paper. In question 1, you'll get 4 marks for your professional marks. That's from your ability to be able to present the information in a manner that they request, whether it be a report or a memo or a briefing document, and your ability to be able to tease out the information that you're presenting to the examiner utilising the information that was given in the case, so that you're able to apply your knowledge to the facts that are given in the question and you're able to produce meaningful advice based on the calculations that you've done. Okay, the next slide there simply explains about the fact that advanced investment appraisal techniques and treasury and risk management are guaranteed to appear going forward on every exam paper. Now, I suppose one of the main purposes of this presentation is to be able to give people a sense of whether or not financial management, and particularly advanced financial management, is the option subject for them. And the first question that I'd ask anybody who's kind of wondering, is this the subject that I should be thinking of sitting, is did you enjoy F9? If you did F9 or whatever financial management subject you did in college to give you an exemption from F9, if you did that subject and you didn't enjoy it, well then you're not going to enjoy advanced financial management. There's a lot of calculations to it. The F9 paper gives a very, very good indication as to what type of topics you're going to have to be able to deal with. Another question I'd ask people is, do you like using a calculator? If you don't like using a calculator, well then definitely F9 isn't a subject for you. But if you are comfortable with a calculator, if you're comfortable with using equations, if you're comfortable with doing calculations, well then F9 will be right up your street. As I said, approximately 60% of the exam paper comes from calculations. And then the other 40% realistically is for you to be able to explain why you did the calculations, the assumptions that you've made with preparing the calculations, and then advising what the calculations tell you so that you can give reasoned advice to somebody. I suppose pretty much that brings us to the end of our presentation. Financial management, advanced financial management, it follows on from the previous F9 subject. 60% out of the marks that are available will come from your ability to be able to do calculations, 40% from your ability to be able to talk about the calculations that you've done and to demonstrate that you understand the techniques that you've employed. You need to be comfortable in using a calculator. You don't need to worry about previous knowledge on the course. I'll be starting on the assumption that you don't remember anything from financial management. But as I did mention earlier, and just as a caveat, I will be running through the financial management material a bit more quickly than you would have perhaps covered it when you were doing just financial management as a subject on its own. If you have any queries or questions with regards to the advanced financial management, to the change from P4, and pretty much there are no changes from P4 except for the format of the examination paper, and the name of the subject has now been changed to advanced financial management. So P4 pretty much has just been repackaged into a new subject layout, a new exam layout and a new subject name. But if you have any questions or queries, if you drop me an email to liam.doran@accountancyschool.ie, I'd be delighted to give you any advice that I can. Thanks very much.